We quite often see the question, is my child too young to go to Disney? We think the answer is no, and in this video we'll tell you why. So in this episode we'll be looking at Magic Kingdom and how to prepare your child for everything to do with Magic Kingdom to make sure that you have the best time possible. So we always recommend the use of Fastpasses. Basically enables you to plan your day ahead, get everything running smoothly, looking at what rides you're going to be doing on the day and then booking them in advance. So you have a certain time slot that you're able to pre-book, and it enables you to jump ahead of the lines to get straight on, which is something recommended for children, isn't it? Because not all, in fact very few children like waiting in lines that long, so it's always recommended to use that service. Now obviously if you download the app or if you just simply go onto the desktop, you can book your fast passes through setting up a My Disney Experience account, and basically on there will be the information onto the rides that you want to book, i.e. such as maximum or minimum heights I should say, for children to be able to use, and also what interest range, i.e. does it suit younger children or more older children or both. It basically gives you a bit of information as to what sort of children will actually like that ride and whether they can actually ride it or not. So definitely sign up for a My Disney Experience account and download the app, because it's a great help even on the day around the parks. It's a definite must.
They've got lots of maps and stuff, so once you know which park you're actually heading to, yeah, on the day it's a good little handy little app to have, in case you need to find anything, or in case if it's your first time going there. I mean, it helped us find rides that we weren't 100% sure where they were, so yeah, you might book your fast pass, but this will also help guide you to where that ride is. I think it even allows you to make directions, so it will actually walk you, yes, like Google Maps, yeah. Sorry. It'll actually physically guide you to where you need to be.
Sometimes I find that's a little bit hit and miss, but obviously they're working on it, so hopefully they'll have that sorted soon. But it'll sort of give you an idea of where to go, and I think it even tells you how many minutes it'll take to get there as well.
As long as you don't have loads of people to collide into on your way.
Especially with the stroller or buggy. So when using your fast passes, the way that we found was the best was to give yourself a little bit of time to get from one fast pass to the other, because we liked to use the full time of the fast pass. And what we mean by that is, for example, if it's a ride, say like Thunder Mountain, where obviously our little one couldn't ride on that, what we did was our own little sort of parent swap, which we'll go into more details of that in a minute. But basically what we did was, first parent went right on the beginning of the fast pass allotted time, which gave one parent time to ride. Bear in mind sometimes there's a little bit of queue even with fast passes, but it's obviously a lot shorter than the standby line. So it gave the first parent a little bit of time to queue up for the shorter amount of time to do the ride, come out, and then the second parent would then go through the process, and it would all be done with your allotted time,
yeah.
which is the way we found it.
I think
helpful.
Even with, if there's massive waiting times, I think there is a little bit of a buffer at the end of your allotted time.
Yeah.
I think it's about 15 minutes. Is it 15 minutes?
You're allowed to be 15 minutes late, I do believe. Drop a comment below if I'm wrong. But it's 15 minutes at the end, or 5 minutes early you're allowed. So at the time of filming, that's the information we were given, which is a good thing to do. And then obviously once you've completed your first fast pass, move it on to your second one of the day. Give yourself a little bit of time just to get from one place to the other.
I mean, Magic Kingdom, which is what we're talking about today, is huge. There's quite a lot of space between the different areas where the rides are, so where possible when you're booking your fast passes, obviously in advance, just have a think, like use the map to sort of have a think about where you're going to be booking your fast passes, because obviously you need to walk there. Or I mean, there are other ways around the park. There's like little boat trips and stuff you can take to some different areas, but there's not many in Magic Kingdom. But yeah, making sure that I think with the handy thing with Fastpass when you're booking is that it won't allow you to book them too close together if it knows you've got to travel quite far in between the rides. So it won't let you book one right next door to each other. So say, for instance, if one of yours finishes at like 1:10, and then you go to book a fast pass for a ride that's the other side of the park, it won't let you book on that ride at 1:20, because you won't get there in time.
But I would bear in mind, obviously, if you're a big family, it may take just a little bit longer than what they've allowed you to get from one to the other. I think it normally goes by the sort of average walking time to get from one to the other.
Yeah.
But sometimes there could be things happening, such as as we're doing a video about children, you might need to suddenly change a nappy or something in between, which you do need to allow for eventualities.
Yeah. Or drink and food stops, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So when booking your fast pass, obviously check the age appeal of the ride, the restrictions that may be in place. Now, like you said, there may be rides that you want to do, but obviously you can't take your children, so take advantage of what we said, using the full amount of Fastpass slot available. But also there's a service called Rider Switch.
Or Parent Swap.
Or Parent Swap.
Whatever they call it these days.
Some people even call it Child Swap, which is
Child Swap.
In our case it's quite apt. There are a certain amount of rides that offer this service. Now I'm just checking on the My Disney app, which you'll be able to check in and around the parks and when booking. And the lists for Magic Kingdom are as follows. So Barnstormer, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Stitch's Great Escape, and Tomorrowland Speedway. So those are pretty much Magic Kingdom's most popular rides, and it's obvious why they'd be offering such a service. Although you can still obviously book a fast pass for this, but if you're using that system, it's almost like a free fast pass, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good service, and I would recommend taking use of it. I mean, when we were writing our list down to talk about in this video, we actually came across the fact that Big Thunder Mountain is on the Rider Switch on my Disney Experience app, and we both went, oh great, because we actually probably would have been more beneficial for us to use our fast pass for something else and use Rider Switch for Big Thunder Mountain, as there are so many things in Magic Kingdom which are popular, like lots of popular rides, and you only get 3 fast passes at the beginning of your day to use, so it would be wise, don't do what we did, we're telling you now, don't do what we did. Make sure you're checking up on which rides offer Rider Switch before you book your fast passes, so then you can use your fast passes more wisely than we probably did.
Yeah, because you only get 3 fast passes to book in advance, and then once you've used those 3, you're allowed to book additional ones throughout the day, but that's subject to availability, of course, whereas with Rider Switch, it's simply available at most times. There may be certain busy times when they might have to restrict it a little, but I think 99.9% of the time it's pretty much on offer to anyone. So what basically happens is the first parent will go in and queue up in a standby line, and then once that parent has queued up, completed the ride, and then come back out, you then, the second parent can then change over child watching responsibilities and then go through the ride fast pass style, so you'll be able to jump the line and go straight in.
I believe what you have to do to gain this is to go and speak to a member of staff who's on the ride.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I think I mean, we did it. We only actually used this on
Avatar,
in Flights of Passage, over in Animal Kingdom, but I think it was a very new service by the looks of things. I hadn't heard that they were doing this at the time that we went.
No.
Back in May 2019.
Yeah, when we
first went out there, yeah.
It was just Seven Dwarfs
It was
Mine
just
Train,
7,
wasn't it?
yeah. But we got to Pandora World, noticed that there was a poor young lady stood out in the heat with a big sign that said parent swap on it.
Yeah.
Or rider switch. So we went up and used the facility, but I can't remember seeing, when we were going round Magic Kingdom, anyone with the signposts. So I mean, obviously comment below if you know how they actually do it in the parks. But I would imagine that you have to go up to whoever's on the podium where you sign in with your Magic Brands or Fastpasses, talk to them, and then they'll sort you out the rider switch.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile thing to use.
We wish we used it now.
Yeah, like I say, when we went on the Flights of Passage, it was a great help. And we were saying, funny enough, weren't we, but why can't they offer it on more rides, you know, all the time, sort of thing, across the parks? But it looks like there's something they've implemented.
So I've heard that they're even possibly doing it on Slinky Dog Dash over in Hollywood Studios now, which is a good thing, because I think we would have liked to have used that. Because Slinky Dog Dash is something that we didn't actually get to do because the queues were just crazy, and it was crazy hot on the days that we were there.
Yeah.
But if we'd known that rider switch was happening, we probably would have used that.
Next time we will.
Next time.
So yeah, always like we said, check on the app or on the website just to get the latest information. At the time of recording, in July 2019, those were the rides that are available in Magic Kingdom. So but check on the current information on their Disney's own website to make sure that you're up to date.
Magic Kingdom is probably, of all the parks over in Disney World, Magic Kingdom is probably the one that we think has the most child-friendly
My favourite.
range of rides. I think Magic Kingdom is probably really aimed at children, big children like us, big kids at heart. But they definitely do have a huge varieties of rides that youngsters as little as Alithia,
some even younger.
I think we've seen even some babies on quite a lot of the rides. Magic Kingdom's got quite a nice range of what we call the boat rides, or the easy floaty rides that you can go on. Alithia loved them. But yeah, there's a lot. We found we were taking Alithia on a lot more rides in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. Like Katie said, the dark rides or the boat rides were a favourite, weren't they? And it also enables you to escape the heat, and to, you know, just to relax a bit. We found that the favourites were Pirates of the Caribbean, It's a Small World, definitely.
Definitely.
And the Little Mermaid ride, I think, wasn't it? Was another one. Her overall favourite ride in the whole park, probably, I would say, was the Peter Pan flight. I would definitely recommend taking your child on that.
Fastpass!
Yeah, but I'd also definitely recommend booking a Fastpass, because we did the first time with a Fastpass, which was great. The second time we were there, we just sort of thought, oh, we'll just go on. And
the wait time didn't look that long, but I think it must have got longer as we were going through it.
It was 50 minutes posted on the sign. In the end, I think it was over that.
Yeah. Over
an hour. But it is the most popular for children, and you'll see why. But it's quite a short ride, so you don't really want to spend a lot of time queuing. However, that being said, the line is quite interesting.
It's really interesting. There's so
if you
many
do have
things.
to do it, yeah, there is a lot to look out for, and you see Tinkerbell flying around the room and whatnot.
They've got lots of interactive bits as well. Like there's a bit where you can, there's like a projection that's coming down from behind you, and you can use your hands to ding the bells.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a find Tinkerbell situation in the other bits, and I mean, if you don't mind queuing or the queue isn't too long, I would recommend going down the standby line just to experience the line. It was really cute. It was really nice. It was, the only problem is we were very stop start throughout the whole line, so Alithia did get quite bored. I mean, what kid of any age doesn't get bored? No matter what, they get bored in their lines. But yeah, I would recommend trying it at least once because it's fun. The actual standby line is really fun.
But obviously, like I said, Alithia did get bored, so this is the whole reason why we say to use Fastpass and Parent Swap, simply to avoid it as much as possible. Now the other ride I would say, which surprised us, was Pirates of the Caribbean. It's been said a lot that can be a little bit scary for small children, and it probably can. Obviously, you know your child. Do they get scared easily? If they do, then maybe avoid it. But ours, actually, it's probably up there with one of their favourites, isn't it?
Should have singing along to the.
I think it's the tune. I think
it is. Yeah. I mean, that's something else we did. We downloaded a lot of the music for the rides and stuff before we went, so Alithia was quite familiar with the songs and stuff on the rides. Like It's a Small World, it absolutely drives me insane, that song. It goes round my head for days after I've heard it.
That's probably me playing it all the time.
Yeah. Or it's constantly playing on his phone. But it made it more fun when we were on the ride because she was singing along, and it kind of adds that little bit more magic to the ride because she already knew the songs. Same with Pirates of the Caribbean, she already knew the songs, so she was singing along to it when we got to the certain points in the ride where the song was playing.
Which is what Disney is all about, right?
It is, it is.
The one ride which we wouldn't think would be a problem but potentially was the Carousel of Progress. Now, you probably, if you've got young children, you probably don't take them to the cinema because they get bored really easily and make a lot of noise, which Alithia definitely falls into that category, and that's what she did on the Carousel of Progress. She made quite a bit of noise at the start. We were basically looking for the exit but realised it probably wouldn't be possible because it was moving. It's a whole theatre that moves around the centre stage, so I don't know how that would have worked, but yeah, so if your child gets bored and doesn't sit still, then you might want to avoid that. For the older children, I think it's great. It's educational, isn't it? You know, it shows how the world progressed. But if you've got younger children, then you might want to avoid that one.
But then saying that as well, with the whole theatre type experiences there, we were a little bit worried about taking her on it, but we took her on, is it Laugh Floor, which was the Mike and Sully Laugh Floor, in the same area where Carousel of Progress in Tomorrowland. But that was very interactive, and Alithia is very good at, if you laugh, she laughs. She doesn't necessarily understand what you're laughing about, but she laughs along with it. So I think, and also my favourite film is Monsters Inc. Always has been, always will be. I love all the characters. In fact, I call Alithia Boo. If you're familiar with that film, you know who I'm referring to there. But yeah, and because she recognised the characters and there was so much laughter, she absolutely loved that, and I loved that. That's the first time, we didn't go on it last time we went on our own because we just weren't sure what it was about. But it's hilarious. They interact with you in it. It's almost like a comedy show. It's almost going to watch a comedy show, and they pick on individuals in the audience. I won't give too much away. All I would say is I recommend you go and watch it, go and experience it, because it is hilarious. But that's another theatre type show, and that's just completely different. So I think the theatre shows, the more interactive ones, great. You can take little ones in, I would recommend it. The ones like Carousel of Progress are probably not the right ones to take the younger, more infant-like children in.
So yeah, just to summarise the rides that are most suitable, so basically dark rides, and also rides that little ones can sort of have a little bit of
Interact with.
thrill and interact with. Yeah, so it captures their attention. We definitely think are the best kind of rides. Obviously, drop some comments on below on your favourites with children.
We'd love to hear which ones are your favourites and which ones your children interacted with the most.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always good to compare.
I think for Alithia, her favourite was Peter Pan's Flight. It's a Small World, the second. Would you say Ariel would be after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ariel after that.
Yeah.
I think they were definitely up there with her favourites.
And also the other thing that Magic Kingdom has got is they've got a lot of what I would call funfair type rides as well.
Yes, they've got a whole zone, haven't they? Just north of, just up past Tomorrowland, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they have. Yeah, where I think it's called the Dumbo Circus area.
Yes, that's
yeah,
it.
we didn't go down that one just because of timings, but we did go on the flying magic carpets in.
That's in Adventureland, I believe.
Adventureland, I think it
Near
is.
the Tiki Room.
Yeah. That's another good one as well. Another theatre one, but it's lots of singing, lots of sounds and noises. That's another good sort
She
of
did
theatre
get bored
show.
with that at the start, but then when they picked up the pace, they were singing and moving and everything. Yeah. That kind of again captured their imagination.
Yeah, but they do have a whole area dedicated to the kind of more funfair rides. Alithia really liked the flying carpets,
which I believe is good for the younger children.
Yeah,
as well, than
and they again that ride is interactive, so you can. There's like little levers that you can pull where it decides what angles you're flying, how high you're flying, how low you're flying, and Alithia loved doing all that because it felt like she was actually flying the carpet herself. I mean, technically she was. She was deciding how high we were flying, but it was really fun to kind of, for her to feel that, I suppose.
If you get airsick, think twice about giving them the controls.
Or vertigo.
Yeah. So, as with all Disney parks, they are very family friendly, including washroom facilities. Literally everywhere you turn, there's a restroom.
And you don't have to pay, which is amazing.
Which is always a bonus, yeah. And again, we recommend the use of the Disney Parks app, which will tell you where they are on the map. But if you haven't done that, obviously you can get maps from the actual parks themselves.
Yeah, literally just as you sign in the entrance.
You come in for the entrance, which will tell you where they all are, and literally wherever there's a ride, when you come out of the exit, there's a beer toilet nearby, isn't there? So really good facilities, and most of them, in fact all of them, have nappy changing facilities.
I think they do have in certain areas they have single rooms where you can
Family
go
rooms,
in, like family rooms where you can change. I think there's disabled toilets, which not all of them, but some of them have baby changing facilities. We like to use those where we can, just because then we can both help change nappies, get it done a bit quicker. But I think both the ladies and the men's toilets have a little table area near the entrance where you can change nappies on these well, I say they're tables, they're more like changing tables. They're not just a random table in the middle of the room where everybody can see what you're doing, but there are little tables in both women's and men's toilets where you can change nappies as well. The other thing to look out for is every park has a first aid area. We thought we'd never need one. You might end up needing one. We just had one day where we were a little bit unsure. Alithia had been poorly for the first few days and she just kept getting worse, and we felt this was the best place to go first before we had to take her to an emergency room. We didn't really want to use an emergency room, so we knew we were going to a park. We knew they have the first aid facilities, so we used it, and they're really helpful. You'll find, I think most parks, the first aid area is near the beginning of the park.
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom's actually is different. It's halfway down the main street. Well, it's actually probably nearer to where the castle is.
Yeah, probably top end of Main Street. Left at Casey's Corner.
You've
and
got
left again.
the cafe, Casey's Corner. I think it's a little cafe style parlour thing. Take a left there, and then it's just there on your left. In like a little pavilion area. We didn't use that one, but we have looked on the map to just find out where it is, to give you guys a heads up for where it is in case you might need it. But they're all really good in the first aid rooms. They're all really good at helping you out.
Yeah. Also, for the younger people with younger children as well, there are feeding rooms where you can obviously sit down and relax and feed your child. Most of those are at the entrance as well, I believe, but again, download the app and it will tell you where exactly on the map, or they're available on the map that you can get paper form again at the entrance.
These little rooms are really good. They've got an area to be able to heat up food, prepare milk, things like that. They also have little areas where mums who are still feeding their babies themselves, you can sit down and do it in a nice little quiet room rather than having, because I know some mums feel uncomfortable just sitting out in public. If you don't, kudos to you. Carry on, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. But yeah, some mums like to just sit and feed their babies in an enclosed little room, and Disney do offer that for you.
It's really family friendly, like I say, and it's something to expect of Disney, obviously. And you know, it's makes life a lot easier, but obviously you just have to familiarise yourself with where these facilities are and make the full use of them. So yeah, Magic Kingdom, like we said, offers probably one of the best offerings of rides and things to do for children and also younger children. So we definitely we focused on that part most of all, didn't we?
We went there 3 times, I think it was, in the end.
But you know, make sure that you make the full use of Fastpasses and obviously ride a switch, and it makes the day a lot easier.
Definitely, yes.
The other offering that all parks offer, but probably my favourite offerings from Magic Kingdom, are the festivals and the fireworks. Now the festivals are, what times were they? Testing.
The festivals. Do you mean the parades?
I mean the parades.
Parades.
Wow, the street parades, festivals, same thing.
So you've got 2 different parades that go around Magic Kingdom at the moment, as we're filming this. You've got the Festival of Fantasy, which is all the princesses and stuff on big massive floats. I love a good carnival, so it's kind of like a carnival. England offers really cool carnivals, especially in the area we live in. But anyway, going back to Magic Kingdom, so you've got the Festival of Fantasy, and that's shown at 3 o'clock every day, I believe.
Yes.
Every day, and that goes round the circle up near the castle, comes down Main Street, and then goes round the roundabout area down near the entrance,
Yeah.
and then off back out to the back area. I recommend watching it. It's really, really fun to watch. And then the other parades they offer, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong down below, I believe this is a special birthday celebration type parade, because obviously Mickey has been celebrating his 90th birthday. It's called Move It, Shake It, and you've actually got people stood on the float singing, so they're singing live, which I love. And they show that at 12:30 and then at 6:15. And these, you have your favourite characters, so your Mickeys, your Minnies, Goofy and all his friends.
Which are in special.
And they're in special birthday outfits. If you've watched our vlogs when we went there, you'll see that we met Mickey and Minnie in their celebration gear. So they wear like little party suits and dresses with all like birthday cake type things going on. And this festival is very much like that. They're all dancing on presents, and they've all got little screens on the side of the boxes showing you the words to the song, so you can sing along and join in as well.
Which Alithia loved.
Which Alithia loved. The first day we went there, we watched this parade. She wasn't feeling great. She was feeling really poorly, but she still wanted to get up, get out the pram, and boogie on down. Again, if you've watched our vlogs, you'll see this of her just shaking her booty.
She does love to do that.
So yeah, that's the parades.
So at 9 PM across all the parks is the fireworks event, and in Magic Kingdom it's called Happily Ever After, and probably, if you're quite emotional, shall we say, it does kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
It catches you. It's quite overwhelming, I think, is probably the right way to describe it.
And inspiring, I think. It's basically based around the whole idea that if you have a dream, you can make it come true. And of course, Magic Kingdom's the place to do it. So yeah, that happens at 9 PM, like I said, and they can get a little bit crowded, so we normally recommend getting a good spot beforehand if you can, especially with little children, because they sometimes tell you to stand, don't they, to get more people in.
I think they want, yeah, there's certain areas, I think, right in front of the castle where you can sit, but they do like you to stand because I think it then gives the best opportunity for everybody to see it.
But obviously, children being slightly smaller in height, it's sometimes better to get them in a little bit earlier so they can get a good spot where they won't have to stand. Because obviously, if you put them on your shoulders or something, it can affect other guests. So yeah, definitely get there in time. And it's full of songs, isn't it? Inspiring songs,
Yeah.
clips from the films which they present onto the
on the actual castle. Yeah, it's a really nice thing. Yeah, they've got, like you said, the projections with the fireworks going off behind. There's a little thing to watch out for at the end. I won't give it away, but that absolutely made me bawl, crying, and yeah, and if you've got your favourite characters and favourite songs, they're probably going to be in there. My favourite song probably of all time is in Rapunzel, in Tangled, the film. There's a little song that's from there, and it had me crying. I'm not going to lie about that.
So yeah, that definitely rounds up the day, I think. One thing that we did with that really is because some of you like to get to the parks as early as you can in the morning for a thing called rope drop. Basically, you get there as soon as the park opens and you literally bomb it to your favourite ride, so there's not much of a queue. We, however, preempted that we were going to do the fireworks, so we went on a lot later in the day, because sometimes children don't last that long. Okay, if you take the stroller, they can probably nap in the afternoon and recharge a bit, but we found that
the pure heat.
Yeah, and also it's 9 PM, so most children are in bed that time, so they might fall asleep during it, so we sort of recommended having a little bit later start to the day if you definitely want to do the fireworks.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching our video about Magic Kingdom. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also drop a few comments if you have any other tips for other parents that you'd like to offer below.
Also, don't forget to drop us a message down below if there's anything else you would like us to include in this series of videos. And also we'd like to hear from you regarding what your favourite rides are, and if you've got any other tips for parents who are watching this video.
So we'll see you in the next one, where we include more parks and how to prepare for those. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Say like and subscribe.
Subscribe. So see you soon. Thank you for watching.
See you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.